Indiana Congressman Jim Banks is chair of the Republican Study Committee. Congressman, good to have you with us today. Thank you very much for being here. So,
thank you.
You know, there are people who think that this was sort of a joke, and they talked about that this morning on another cable network. I want to play a little piece of this. This was their reaction to the cover of the New York Post. Watch this.
Eyes on the spies. And it's the Republicans' intention, Kevin McCarthy's intention, to subpoena 51 former members of the American intelligence community to pursue the Hunter Biden story. So if you're out there sitting at home, worried about your home heating oil bill, your grocery bill, the status of your kids in school, forget about that, because we've got to get to the bottom of the Hunter Biden story.
What's your reaction to that, sir?
Well, Martha, it makes me angry listening to that. There's no joke about it. These 51 officials abused their reputation and their positions as former intelligence officials to help their guy get elected on Election Day over Donald Trump. They abused the trust that the American people gave them in those positions. I'm glad that Kevin McCarthy is committed to calling them and subpoenaing them to come and testify before the committee. But I hope we go a lot further than that. When you go and you apply to reinstate your security clearance, there is a question on that application that asks about your trustworthiness, your character, and your honesty. And all 51 of those officials who signed this letter proved to the American people that they're anything but honest. So I hope we take away their security clearances too.
Well, I think that's a great point. You know, and that would be sort of holding them accountable, at least to some extent, because they all very much enjoy that security clearance. It shocks me that these individuals would sign this without getting some personal assurance from Hunter Biden or from people close to this story. You know, hey, are you sure this is not his laptop? Because if you go back into the Wayback Machine, Congressman, he never denied. He never said, that's not even mine. I don't know anything about this laptop. He never even said that. And yet these individuals, with their reputations on the line right before an election, were okay with throwing this wrench into the mix in terms of the way people saw this story.
So well put. And remember, the only collusion that was happening here was between the Biden for President campaign and these 51 former intelligence officials. They coordinated this attack to try to sweep the story about the Hunter Biden laptop under the rug so that nobody would notice. So that, I hope when we subpoena them and force them to testify, we'll talk about how the Biden campaign used this story, how they coordinated it with these officials, and how these former intelligence officials are nothing more than political hacks and don't deserve the reputation of being given that prestigious title that they used to have.
Yeah, you know, I just want to one more quick question for you, sir. They're basically saying when they're talking about this that don't you guys realize that there's other stuff to do, that gas prices are expensive, and that this shouldn't be so high on the list? What do you say to that?
Well, what these former intelligence officials did is they cheapened the entire intelligence community, and that is a threat to our national security. So we have a moral duty to hold them accountable for that, for abusing their positions for political purposes, and by doing that, making it harder for our current intelligence officials to do their job. So I'm going to be on the front lines of holding them accountable.
All right. It'd be interesting to see, you know, an apology, I think, would go a long way. You know, an admission that it was a mistake to sign something like that when you didn't know if it was actually his laptop, which, has been verified by numerous news organizations since then, if they had taken the time to actually dig in a little bit here. Jim Banks, Congressman, thank you very much. Hope to see you again soon.